My fellow freelancers, what is going on, y'all? Your dude Sly here, and welcome back to another Sly Nation news video, but this time, we're diving back into the world of Anthem. As I told the Anthem community manager last year, as well as you all, I had always intended to stick with Anthem for the long term. But with precious little news to be had and a completely stale endgame, among a couple of other reasons, that wasn't much to talk about or to even make videos on. So how Willem from your Anthem keeps making videos for the past year just boggles my mind. So if you're watching this dude, GG's, because I know it wasn't easy. Anyway, a little over a month or so ago, one of my favorite gaming reporters by the name of Jason Schreier reached out to his network and got some answers for us. I actually had no idea what Bioware's plans were for Anthem, or what they've been or had been or whatever, but surely enough, rumor had it that a second attempt at Anthem was in the works, to fix the game, and this time to do it right. However, we didn't know if it would simply be an expansion that fixed everything while adding new content, or if it was going to be kind of like a Final Fantasy XIV style fix where the game gets shut down and a completely new version is then remade. Well, we finally know what's happening, guys. Earlier today, my man Casey Hudson from Bioware posted an update about Anthem over on the Bioware Blog. The link for both Jason Schreier's old article and the Bioware Blog can be found down in the description box below under links, so check it out if you wish to read it for yourselves. Basically, it didn't really give us anything that new, but it did finally confirm that Anthem is indeed receiving an overhaul. Quote, "Over the coming months, we will be focusing on a longer-term redesign of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast science fantasy setting," end quote. So now the only real questions left, basically in what form. It specifically states that this reinvention isn't something an expansion or an update can achieve. But are we talking about like an Anthem 2.0 where everyone starts back out at level 1 with a new updated and expanded story, different strongholds, new areas, new powers, new weapons, etc.? Or is Bioware keeping the exact same campaign, the exact same free play areas, same strongholds, etc., but just quote-unquote fixed? In the past, I've sat down and typed up several video scripts about Anthem that I fully intended on making or turning into Anthem videos, talking about its issues, fixing them, dev perspectives, my E3 experience or EA Play, the reality and so forth. But it was always such a long script that I ended up abandoning each and every one of them. Last year, I had the privilege of talking to some of the devs at Bioware, and if one thing was made absolutely clear that day, is that they indeed listen, and often. It affects them personally as well. You could see the stress wrapped around their shoulders and necks, and it made questioning them that much harder. But the point is, I asked about loot, I asked about progression, all kinds of stuff, but the problem with creating something as vast as Anthem, along with a graphics engine that fights you every step of the way, is that you have to do what's necessary within the time allotted, and then programs, textures, effects, they're never a single one and done. In video games, assets are used and reused everywhere. Take something, for a simple example, take something as simple as fire, right? That same program for fire or effect, it isn't just used in a fireplace, but during shooting, explosions, candles, lanterns, after effects of larger weapons or missiles, powers, whatever. If you make a tweak to that fire program in just one small area, it then changes everything across the board within the game, everywhere that program was used. So now you have to go back and test every area where those changes could have made a bug, and then squash it. A simple analogy, and not 100% accurate, but you pretty much get the gist. Making tweaks to the core gameplay of Anthem, programs that Anthem was pretty much built on top of, absolutely wreaked havoc across the game, and it was just too messy and too complex to be dealt with in a simple DLC or update, or even a series of updates. So Bioware decided to stick with the DLC plans it had in place, which of course ended up being changed anyway and then later dropped into seasons, but I'm assuming Frostbite was the culprit behind all of these technical problems and giving them more issues than they had predicted. So the only way to really fix Anthem is to remake it from the core up, and I think Bioware is making a very good call here. The gaming scene is changing. While it can still be a toxic sludge hole of embarrassing proportions, gamers have learned to tolerate longer development times in order to get the game that they not only want, but the game that was promised. There is not a single game out there that cannot be fixed. It just depends on how it needs to be handled. Update by update, a la No Man's Sky, or a complete reboot like Final Fantasy XIV, which ended up becoming Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, which is, by the way, now the best MMO game out there in terms of gameplay, sophistication, graphics, character choice, and a bunch of different areas. As with all things though, We're going to have to wait and see, but my guess is that we will see some sort of Anthem 2.0, a game where we all start back at level 1 with an expanded, added on campaign, progression, core javelin and or pilot progression, gear or weapon progression, and the big one, an experience overhaul. I mean, there were so many things that we talked about but never implemented, and if Bioware wants to go in and redo this the way they say, then I say take the time to do it right and come back with something epic. Over the next few months, I will be releasing more Anthem videos with the title Fixing Anthem. There will be Fixing Anthem Flying and Traversal, Fixing Anthem Fort Tarsus, progression and or leveling, strongholds, endgame, open world, etc. So definitely look forward to that, as I hope some of my input along with your comments might take hold over at Bioware. Also, like I said, be sure to comment your ideas and wants, whether here on my videos on YouTube or over on Reddit. You might not realize it, y'all, but Bioware and its devs read Reddit pretty much daily. They constantly read comments on Anthem videos, so let's try and help them build the game that I know Anthem can become. But anyway, that's about it, guys. My only concern really here is time and resources, something I'll get into deeper later on, but Casey Hudson said over the coming months we will be focusing on a longer term redesign. So does that mean all of this will be crammed down into the next just few months of development time, or perhaps we're simply making a plan in the next few months and then we'll act on it after that? Either way, guys, I am 100% behind them. There are just way too many good developers over at Bioware, and they need a win. It's been a rough few years for Bioware, and with so many people leaving, issues with the last 2 games, leadership gaps, internal struggles, etc., hopefully this will bring everyone back on board where they can go, fix Anthem, make it great, and then complete Dragon Age with some positive momentum behind them. So yeah, that's it, ladies and gents. I'm out of here. As always, thank you for not only watching, but for supporting Sly Nation. If you're new to my channel, then welcome, my friend. Hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe, as I'll be tracking Anthem all the way through this second development phase, as well as other videos about games like Destiny, Star Wars, Cyberpunk 2077, and other Bioware games. Be sure to smack the thumbs up or down if you liked, loved, or hated the video, and let me know your thoughts about Bioware's move. Are you happy they decided to go full-on redo, or do you think they should have just kept what they had, but give it more depth? Let me know down below. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic week, freelancers, and keep those eyes open for more Sly Nation videos coming out here in the very near future. But until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.